Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name's James Schofield, and you're listening to MyGrowth Coaching, a podcast which explores the field of business coaching. In each episode of this series, I'm talking to expert coaches from inside and outside of the international technology company Siemens about the business coaching issues they encounter with their coaching clients and how they work together to find practical solutions, helping each client become the best version of themselves. My guests will share interesting case studies about the challenges people face in their business life and how they deal with them. It could be dealing with conflicts in a team, overcoming procrastination, taking difficult decisions, balancing family and career, all issues that we are familiar with but which maybe we don't know how to solve on our own. So join us and make sure you listen to the very end, because that's where I'll give a short summary of the recommendations from each episode that might help you manage your life just a little bit better. In this first interview on MyGrowth Coaching, I'm talking to the two driving forces behind the MyGrowth Coaching initiative in Siemens, Sonia Schautzer and Birgit Eckart. Sonia has been working for Siemens for nearly 30 years. She thinks coaching is the most effective approach to personalized learning and growth, and was responsible for the pool of external business coaches at Siemens for many years. For the last 2 years, she's been driving the internal MyGrowth Coaching initiative and is also responsible for MyStrengths, strength-based approach to grow people and the organization. Outside of work, she's a great reader, preferably analog to digital, newspapers in particular. Birgit Eckart has a lot of experience within Siemens as a change and project manager and is the product owner for the MyGrowth self-reflection tool and project lead for MyGrowth Coaching. She is also an International Coaching Federation certified executive coach and a lecturer at the European University of Applied Sciences for coaching and systemic consulting, intercultural competence, diversity management, and change management. And as if that wasn't enough, if any of our German-speaking listeners out there has a baby on the way, you might want to check out the book that Birgit wrote for expectant parents, Kinder, ein praktischer Ratgeber für werdende Mutter, with illustrations from Birgit's mother and daughters. Available from Amazon, link is in the show notes. So definitely the two best people to introduce us to the MyGrowth Coaching initiative. Let's go and meet them. Sonia, Birgit, welcome to MyGrowth Coaching.
Hi, James. Thank you so much for having us.
Hello, James. Glad to be here.
Tell me about MyGrowth Coaching. What's the purpose of this initiative?
Well, Siemens fosters the employability of its people, and the purpose is really to stay relevant and resilient. So the idea is really to offer coaching for everyone at Siemens, make it really scalable, and therefore it's of course free of charge. And to make it scalable, it's also some kind of an impulse coaching, meaning you get one chemistry call and 4 coaching hours for free with a qualified internal coach. And when we talk about employability, what does it mean in organizational view? It's really that we focus on the areas of career development, lifelong learning, and self-care and resilience.
Okay, so the chemistry call, what is the purpose of the chemistry call?
The purpose of the chemistry call is just to get to know each other, because only if the chemistry is right, you really find yourself in a trustful conversation. So this is really important, that coach and coachee, that they fit, they match.
Right. Okay, so it's kind of like a little bit like a speed dating. You meet the person and then you can see if there's chemistry there, right?
You could call it like that.
Okay. So, Birgit, Sonia, how did you two get involved?
So we set up interdisciplinary cross-Siemens team, mainly with coaching enthusiasts, but also experts. And I let Sonia say how she came there, but she was pretty much from the very first day on board. And then we did 2 pilots very successfully. And when the management decision came to say, yes, we want to have MyGrowth coaching really a fixed part within MyGrowth, they offered me the opportunity to be the project lead within a P&O organization and really drive this topic.
And what about you, Sonia?
Well, I was responsible for business coaching at Siemens for many years and offered support to help people to find the best fitting external coach. And I also conducted interviews with external coaches. So it made sense to apply my expertise also for this internal coaching initiative. And to be honest, it's not only the high quality of an internal coach pool that made me think of being part of the project. It was also that I am a coach myself, and I wanted to work as a coach, and this was the opportunity for me.
Right. Okay. Yes. So that makes a lot of sense. I think would be interesting for a lot of listeners, because I think in my experience there's quite a lot of confusion in people's heads about these topics. But there are these perhaps 4 areas: coaching, mentoring, consulting, and psychotherapy. And I think people very often get a little bit confused about the differences and the similarities between those. So could you perhaps clarify the differences here?
Yeah, sure. And I can start with mentorship. I mean, mentorship is quite a voluntary relationship. You have a mentor and a mentee, and the mentor is normally a person who shares their knowledge, skills, experience, mainly out of their own career, and may often also have contacts to share with the mentee. And they really help the mentee to develop. Yeah, so it's really a nice process here. It's the normal way is really about leveraging the experience and knowledge of someone more senior. But we also know we are talking more and more about reverse mentoring, and this means more coming from a more junior person or a person with different skills and abilities that are sharing their experience there. So it's a completely different thing than coaching, where we believe in something different. But before we go to coaching, Sonia, maybe you go a little bit more in consulting and psychotherapy there.
There are overlaps between these different things regarding coaching and therapy. It is the same, let's say, trustful and confidential relationship. But what is important to me is that therapists have a different educational background, and they discuss different topics in the conversations. They diagnose and they treat psychological dysfunctionalities or mental disorders like depression or anxiety disorders. And it is different to coaching, and we have to explain coaching afterwards further. And also trainers or consultants, they really bring knowledge, deep knowledge, and they share knowledge, and they share solutions and clear recommendations. And if you know from coaches, they don't give or share solutions, they help you find your own solutions. So there is a clear difference here.
Yeah, and if we go now to coaching, what it is, and I like what you said, Sonia, about the psychotherapists and their profession. People always think that coaching is so easy and everybody can do coaching, but not a lot of people know there's also coaching training behind. So there are really good institutes that offer coaching trainings and coaching federations that really ensure that there's a quality in coaching. When we talk about coaching, we also refer to the definition by the International Coaching Federation, by the ICF. And they describe coaching, they say it's a creative and thought-provoking process that inspires the coachee to maximize their potential. and this in a professional way, but also in a personal way. And as Sonia said, how we do this as coaches, and I'm also an ICF PCC coach, so we do this really by asking questions, more or less. We do active listening. We ask challenging questions. We ask powerful questions, and our goal is here really that the coachee starts to self-reflect and to gets more insights or different perspectives to find the personal solution he's really looking for. And we as a coach believe that our coachee may already know the solution, but sometimes has to a little bit to dig deeper inside himself to find it.
Right. Yes. I mean, I often feel that in a very simplified way, the difference between therapy and coaching is that therapy tends to look at the past and what happened in the past, whereas coaching is very much future oriented and how you can react and work in the future.
Absolutely true. But let's say also in therapies you have different approaches, but it's true what you say. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So see it like that.
Yeah, in a very simplified definition, shall we say?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now you mentioned earlier, Birgit, this other coaching initiative, Grow to Glow, and it might be useful for people just to know what are the differences between MyGrowth coaching and these other coaching initiatives in Siemens.
Yeah, so I really have to say that we are really happy to be at Siemens with such a thoroughful coaching landscape that we have here, because we have external coaching offerings and internal coaching offerings. And I might start with Grow to Glow, as you mentioned already before. I mean, Grow to Glow is quite it's a grassroots initiative that was developed some years ago. It is really an interdisciplinary, self-organized team. Across Siemens, with a lot of people with expertise in coaching, really trained coaches, but also people who love to engage in this initiative, and they are called change drivers. The purpose is really to empower women. And this is also sponsored by the Diversity Office of Siemens. So this is really the big purpose here. If you think about the differences between MyGrowth coaching and Grow to Glow, it's also Grow to Glow has a chemistry call, but only 3 coaching sessions instead of 4 with MyGrowth coaching. And as I said, it's a grassroots initiative. So people are doing this really additionally to their day job, what is really remarkable. Yeah. So, and it's also not limited in regard to topics and so on, as we more have in MyGrowth coaching it limited or somehow focused on career development, lifelong learning, and self-care and resilience. So it's also for free. I guess I also have to mention that because it's something that the both coaching initiatives have in common. And and maybe we also can go to the other coaching offerings which are here. We have external coachings offerings like, for example, Better Up, but this is a local offering for the North America, more or less. It's like they teamed up with the coaching provider Better Up to offer also here coaching for employees. And maybe, Sonia, you can tell more, because GP Strategies also is really something that is really valuable for all employees, right?
It is. GP Strategies is one of our partner firms, our external partner firms, and they offer coaching on behalf of Siemens, and they offer, and this is different to the internal initiatives. They offer coaching with external coaches. There is an external coach pool, a Siemens certified coach pool. And there is one colleague of me, Vanessa, she really tries to help you find the right external coach with a process that is it is individualized, which means there is a confidential pre-analysis talk with her, and she will then try to find you 3 best matching coaches, and you can decide which one is the best for me. And why, maybe just to talk about that, for some people, external coaching is, it's outside the system. and that means maybe it's the best way to find someone you would like to talk to who is not within Siemens. And there, I mean, both can be interesting. It is interesting to find someone inside the system because it's easy. You don't have to explain that much, and you really can delve deeper immediately in your topics. And for some people, it's interesting that there's someone outside with different perspectives maybe on your situation. And this is also something that is interesting, but of course it's not free of costs. So that is something that you have to have in mind if you're interested in external coaching offerings like that what GP Strategies offers with external coaches or with BetterUp. And not to forget also an internal offering from social counseling. They also offer any kind of support for all methods that impact mental well-being and performance. So they also offer services like individual coaching or team coaching, group coaching, and facilitation, and of course events and workshops, and provide really information on topics like resilience and so on.
Right. So have I got it right that social counseling supports individuals and teams perhaps in more crisis situations, whereas, say, Grow to Glow and MyGrowth coaching are more for people who are perhaps looking to develop themselves and find their way forward.
Find their potentials, as we always say it. Find what are your values and strengths, and how can you use them to really grow. And this is the main focus for these initiatives. Yes.
Okay, so you brought up an interesting point there. The advantage of having somebody from Grow to Glow or from MyGrowth coaching is, of course, that there is no costs involved, but that with the external suppliers, GP Strategies and BetterUp, there are costs involved. On the other hand, as you said, there can sometimes be an advantage in having somebody from completely outside the Siemens system who has no assumptions, has no connections, has no skin in the game, if you like, who can then be truly independent. But the MyGrowth coaches, I mean, here's a brutal question: are they properly qualified?
I can say that yes, and yes, with really, I'm convinced of that because we talk to all these coaches. There is an interview before they are part of the coach pool, and we really look for well-educated coaches with a professional education. And which means most of them have a coaching education which is certified by a coaching association, which helps us to know that they know about the ethical guidelines of what coaching is, and also about they bring all the competences that are important in coaching. There are, let's say, high requirements for coaches for the GC coach pool, but it is important that we can rely on that because coaching, we can't look into coaching sessions. It's not only the qualification, it's also that they can talk about why am I a coach? What do I want to bring to the organization and all that? So it's not only that we check the prerequisites and the competences, we also check or what is their purpose. And I like I like this really highly motivated group of coaches in MyGrowth coaching pool. It is a diverse group. That's also really wonderful, diverse in gender and age and language and culture and coaching background. They come from different businesses and service and governance units at Siemens. They come from different countries. We have, I think at the moment, 22 countries of both. And I think at the moment, 120 active and coaches in the pool of MyGrowth coaching. It's wonderful to have them. And I mean, I have to say, James, you are also part of that pool. So
I am. Yes, and I think it is an extremely interesting community of people with lots of different experience and varied backgrounds. And it's a pleasure to be in contact with these people. Let's have a look at how it was developed in the context of My Learning World, because Grow to Glow, for example, originally had nothing to do with My Learning World or Learning Campus as it was then. How did the two come together?
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea was we had some experience with Grow to Glow. You're completely right, because we knew, as you know, we did everything with a lot of manual effort, the matching of coachee, also the reporting and so on. So there was a lot to do, even feedback, sending out to the coaches afterwards, orchestrating the sessions and so on. So when we started with MyGrowth coaching, we were thinking about making it, on the one hand, more scalable. And this also means to reduce manual effort here. And this meant we want to have really a cool matching process also there. We didn't want to have it to, people here matching coachee. We thought more having an algorithm doing that for us, a very smart one behind there. And then, of course, we thought about how can we have a nice process in their tool, and also the reporting, the analytics that you always know that you always need them, to show, improve also a little bit how your initiative is going, how it's working with your initiative. So we thought about how could we do this, and this is why we conducted 2 pilots together with an external coaching app provider, Sharpist. We learned a lot from them, and it was a very cool collaboration with them. So we learned a lot from the system, how they built it up and how they did matching and so on. And then we decided afterwards to embed it in the My Learning World for several reasons. Because all the coaching offerings that we mentioned before are already part. So you can go there to find offerings for TB strategies or get in contact with them, but also for BetterUp, this was already there. And then we were thinking about why not also getting MyGrowth coaching and Grow to Glow on the same platform. So the idea is really to embed it in the already existing Siemens tools landscape and make it simply easier for an employee and more user-friendly to get access to coaching. And this is when we started this collaboration together with Infosys, who are running this, our My Learning World, and together with our internal IT experts like Christian Hartz or Michael Amal. And we are still a little bit in finalizing and fine-tuning it, but what we can see is now we have MyGrowth coaching and Grow to Glow on this platform, and now have a process where we really can ensure that there's a matching process behind it's working properly, that we can also have this, orchestrate a little bit of sessions also for the coachee. The coaching is a learning hour, and this was automatically forwarded in our system. So there's a lot of pros in there, and also the feedback is now going automatically. So and this was mainly the reason how we did it, and in a very nice agile project also.
Right, an awful lot of work in order to get all of these initiatives onto the same platform and up and running. How do you see it developing over the next few years, MyGrowth coaching?
We hope that everyone at Siemens has the opportunity to receive coaching when needed. That's what Birgit already mentioned when she said coaching for everyone at Siemens. That is the vision. And this means for those who are really trained as coaches that they should also have the opportunity to give what they can give, their coaching experience and knowledge, and that they are given the time, of course, within reasonable limits. Well, my wish is really that coaching at MyGrowth Coaching becomes a standard offering, and no one has any hesitation and can say, yes, I'm getting coached. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, this is one thing that we have. And also, meaning getting everyone, that everyone gets a coach also means, that everyone has access to the system. So we see also coaching as an OD development measure. So also
OD development?
Organizational development measure. How can we also provide more impact to the organization? And therefore, I also could picture that we go a little bit more in this direction. And this could also be something like embedding in the future, for example, team coaching there.
Mm-hmm. Right. And just I think an important point to stress here is that anybody who goes for a coaching session, the content of that coaching session remains between the client and the coach, right?
Completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's completely. We always say the Las Vegas rule applies. So whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. Same here. So it's really highest confidentiality. And when I was talking about reporting and statistic, what I mean is simply, knowing how many coaches do we have, how many coachees do we have, things like that.
Yeah, because obviously I think that's something that should, as you say, stay in Las Vegas. What would also be interesting for people is who maybe have never experienced coaching themselves is in your experience, I mean, the two of you very experienced coaches, can you give us some examples of some of the benefits of coaching?
I often have work with people who really want to discover what could be my next career step, for example. And the question is sometimes, what exactly does that mean? Is it really next step? What do I have to do to get the next position or so, to come to the next level? And in my coaching, I experience it's more about recognizing what truly matters to me, what brings me joy, what energizes me, what strengths do I have, what kind of work do I want to do for the next years, and what obstacles do I face then? And this, let's say, introspective process or this self-reflection, this is the really wonderful work we do. And Birgit talked about, it's about questions that we ask, and then sometimes there is a kind of, oh yes, now I know what I really want to do. And to come to this point of clarity and to witness that in the face of coaches is it's the wonderful experience that I have and they have. And it's finding out what's really important to me. And it always is connected with emotions, and to open that up and to experience that people find out, yes, this is what really matters to me. So I like that. I like always to witness that, because if you have the clarity, then it's easy to take the next step.
Yeah, and I can add to that. I mean, some of the coaches are exactly what Sonia described, but I also have coaches who are saying, okay, I'm a little bit stuck in the position that I'm at the moment. I want to develop further. I have no idea. Maybe also some conflicts arising, with colleagues or so on. So also here, it's this self-reflecting part. It's so beneficial for the people. And when you put it on a meta level, always there are quotes from McKinsey where they say, coaching also results in 65% less fluctuation and better retention rates. Yeah, but where does this come from? It's simply because people are we support them in their self-reflection process where they found out and maybe find out, okay, oh, if I reflect a situation that I just had before, this kind of conflict, or what I had, this discussion that was ongoing with my line manager, okay, what happened there? What did I really feel? What happened there? What would I do the next time better? And this self-reflection really enables people to find, some points of actions that they really could start from. And just also what I see is then once a person has the energy or has some, solution in their hands, then they become more motivated. They see something, there's light at the end, right, where they can go to. And this makes them more motivating. And then in the end, of course, it makes them more, has a result on performance because people don't give up. People see solutions, find options, go for that. What is at the end also beneficial then for the organization. And what I also learned is because I also ask my coaches sometimes, to ask for feedback maybe, right? It would be beneficial not to only have how I perceive myself, but also how others perceive me. And then they sometimes mirror back and say, okay, yeah, wow, it's interesting because I got a comment from a line manager, something very positive, and they tell me. And it's really that this is system theory, nothing else. It's like we are part of a system. If we change internally somehow, we also change a little bit our system. And this is beneficial then from an organizational point of view. It starts individual, goes to a team, goes to the overall organization. Yeah, what is really cool. And I really love to be a coach and see this kind of impacts that we can generate.
So it's kind of ripple effect.
Yeah.
Starting with the individual, spreads to the team, perhaps to the organization as a whole, and who knows, maybe the world.
Yeah, at least society, and then world.
Right. Okay. So if any of the listeners would be interested in having some coaching or becoming a coach, maybe they have a coaching qualification already and they would like to join this pool, where should they go?
I mean, for those who really are interested and meet the requirements for coaches, please just go to our coaching app on My Learning World, up to the functionality. There is a button to click on, and it says enroll as coach. And then the next step is an interview with Birgit and me, just to find out if everything fits. And then all the coaches outside there, you can start in our coaching initiatives. It's coach for MyGrowth coaching or for Grow to Glow. Happy to have you.
Yeah, true. And if you're just listening and you think, oh, well, coaching could be something interesting because I have a topic, you, of course, also can apply as a coachee here. And for that, you go to the My Learning World and you find this coaching button we were talking about on the bottom left corner. There are 9 little tiles with apps. And you go there and pick coaching. And as a coachee, you have to undergo 2 prerequisites, which are quite easy to do. So the first one is a very easy video to watch, and it's simply about what is coaching. And the second thing is we have our discovery sheet, and this helps you to a little bit, focus on the topic you want to talk about, because it's really crucial that you come with a topic, and because you want to get the most out of it, and therefore you need to have a topic that you and your coach can work on that.
Sonia, Birgit, thank you so much for coming along today to talk to us and explain about the MyGrowth Coaching Initiative.
Thank you, James, for inviting us. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you, James. It was a pleasure and a good opportunity to talk about what we offer at Siemens.
So the MyGrowth Coaching Initiative is a pretty special offer for anyone working in Siemens. And let's recap what we learnt from Sonia and Birgit. Firstly, the MyGrowth Coaching Initiative has the support from the very top of Siemens, and the main focus is on helping people develop themselves in their career and improve their employability. Anyone who works at Siemens is able to join the program at no cost, that's pretty amazing, and receive 3 to 4 coaching sessions from a qualified Siemens coach that they can choose from the coaches available. Anyone who works at Siemens and has a coaching qualification from a certified training organization can sign up and join the pool of 120 coaches already involved. Does this sound interesting to you? If you work in Siemens, then check out the link included in the show notes and find out how MyGrowth coaching can help you become the very best version of yourself. That's all from this episode of MyGrowth Coaching. If you like this podcast, please follow and give it a rating on whichever platform you use. And tell your friends about it too, especially if you think some of the ideas I discussed with my guests could be useful for them as well. After all, sharing is caring. I'll be back interviewing more great coaches about their experiences soon, so keep your eyes and ears open. Until then, take care and goodbye.